All right, welcome back, guys. What we're going to do today is we're going to look at corresponding parts of congruent triangles. And this is going to lead into more proofs, and that's something we've been working on for the last couple of weeks. So let's get started. All right, so first of all, we need to just refresh our memory on congruent figures. And of course, a congruent figure is a figure that has the exact same shape and the exact same size. So now talking about triangles, that's what we've been working with, and you'll need to remember that with triangles we had 5 properties that we were able to use to prove the two triangles are congruent. And that was, of course, side, 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 angle, side, angle, side, angle, 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 side, and then HL. And just keep in mind that each of those properties were very specific. You want to remember where those markings are. So for instance, all 3 sides are congruent, side, side, side. If the included angle between 2 congruent sides was congruent, we had side, angle, side. Here we have an included side between 2 angles. Then we have 2 consecutive angles and then a follow-up on a side. So the side is not between the 2 angles. And then we had HL, which was requiring to be the hypotenuse of a right triangle for HL. All right, let's go ahead and move to the next page. All right, so if you're given the triangle ABC is congruent to the triangle DEF, there's a couple of things we can do. One, you can also look at our images. So what it's basically going to tell us is that we have the angle A is congruent to the angle D. And one of the things I can tell you right away is that if I look at my letters, A and D line up. So we can write over here that the angle A is congruent to the angle D. Moving along the line here, we can then say, well, angle B is going to line up with E, so angle B corresponds to angle E. And our last letter would be that C lines up with F. There we go. All right, so the angles line up. So whatever arrangement of the letters, we need to pay attention and line up those letters accordingly. So let's look now at our sides. So again, we have triangle ABC is congruent to the triangle DEF. So much like I had done with our angles matching the letters, we can do the same thing for our segments. So if we're looking at the segment AB, he's going to line up with DE. Let's look at how that relates in our letters. Here is AB, so the segment AB lines up with the segment DE. All right, then we can look at BC. Here is going to line up with EF, and again, here is BC lining up with EF. All right, and our last one is C and F. Well, we got to kind of look at where that's going to be. We have the segment AC is going to line up with DF. So we have AC and DF. So those weren't side by side, but they could be if we had rearranged the order. So again, these are our corresponding parts. Okay, so corresponding parts, we can line them up, and this is going to apply to anything that we've determined as congruent.